wanted. Here is more of an artistic thing. You guys have been asking for it. A few people were asking me to do Snapchat filters, so I thought I would do this one because I actually haven't checked my Snapchat in like a week. Logged on today and there was this guy. So here is me with Snapchat filter and then the makeup. So yeah, I tried to recreate it pretty close. I didn't have the ears. I actually did a much more realistic, well not much more, but a more realistic cat makeup, like similar to this kind of, but more of a slightly more realistic one about 2 Halloweens ago. I'll show you that here, and if you're interested in seeing that, I'll definitely link that here as well. But this was really fun to do. This one's a little bit more glamorous. But I have my realistic whiskers and everything. It's very cats, of course, and my fringe looks a bit daft now because I have it put back, but I wanted to show you the makeup. I think I like it with the fringe down. Yeah, that's cool. Anyhow, yeah, if you want to see how this is done, I recreated a Snapchat filter makeup, or Snapchat filter, whatever you want to call it. So there is the Leopard Snapchat filter. That's the filter, that's the makeup, just in case you were wondering. And that's what I was working off as well. So yeah, I'll list everything down below for you if I can. I'm sure I will. Yes, there's no excuse not to. And if you've any questions, leave them below as usual. And in the meantime, just keep watching to see how this is done. Thanks, guys. Snapchat filter. Snapchat filter makeup. So I'm going to start by mixing some of this MUD face primer. It's just a silicone primer in with this MAQ Pro cream foundation. I just like the colour. It's that kind of light yellowy cream, and just going to mix them together. It's C1 is the number of that in the MAQ Pro foundation. Mix it together and then just apply that all over my face. Not too thick, but I just want to get a bit of a base down to start off with. Next, I'm going to grab some really pale concealers, and I wanted a white as well. This is one of the Coastal Scents Camo quads in light. So this white will be used as a highlight, and then this lighter shade here as well, just to lighten up any areas. And I can actually use the green if I do need to correct any redness. I don't think I really do. Maybe a tiny bit actually on my lips. Yeah, anything that has a bit of a green tone will help counteract redness. And the lips, I'm just looking at the picture of myself with the Snapchat filter on me. The lips are very, very light on the bottom. But I can come back to that later anyhow. But you can see how well that covers the lips because of the right tone. Now we'll go into the white and pop that on the chin. And I'm just going to use the foundation brush from earlier and blend that in. I can kind of clean around the lips anyhow in a while. I don't have to worry if I go over the lip line a little bit. And of course, feel free to use a brush or sponge. I'm just happy to use my fingers for the minute. It means less wash up, and it's just as handy, to be honest. I'm going to mix in a little bit of the lighter colour as well with the white for underneath the eye. It's not completely white, but it's very, very light. What I'm going to use now are some Coastal Scents colours, and I'll pick out a couple of the orange colours I have. So I'm going to stay matte. I think it's pretty much matte on the eyes. We have Midas Gold, which is the yellow. Now there's not a huge amount of yellow, but I'm going to use it just to brighten up a little bit. Tangelo Tint. This is going to be my main lid colour. And then I'm also going to use a darker... Actually, I'll just show you all the ones I have. And I'll just dip and dab between the lot. This one is CMO3. I don't know what the new name for that one is. And Marmalade. And this is going to be my darkest colour. I will need a dark brown. And I'll possibly use this guy here called, might as well stick with the same ones. This is Deep Roast. So there you go. And we'll start popping them onto the eyes. Now, even though that goes all the way up to the eyebrow, I'm still going to use, I'm just going to use this because it is matte. It is the Absolute Eye Colour by Catrice in Ice White Open, and it's just a nice, like plain matte cream colour. I'm going to pop that just underneath the brow bone. Brow arch rather. Okay, so let's go in with a teeny bit of this yellow. Like I said, this is the Midas Gold even. I'm going to pop that just onto the very, very centre of my eyes. Next I'm going to go into Tangelo Tint and pop that. I think I'll start using a smaller brush now. Either side of that guy. This probably isn't even that necessary to be honest. But it could look cool, so we'll see. Yeah, so we've got a hint of a spotlight eye going on without it being too in your face. And then I'm going to go into, let's see, this guy here. This is called Hot Pot CMO3. I don't know what the new name is or the proper name is. Pop it there into our crease. And go right up to the brow on the inner corner. If you want, you can leave a little bit of a gap underneath the brow arch where you normally would. Though feel free to go all the way up if you feel like it as well. I'm going to take some liberties here and apply a little bit of orange underneath the lower lash line. It doesn't have it in the filter, but I think it'll look nice, so I'm going to pop it on. I'm using the Zoeva 237 shader for the small work. The 227 is the blending brush. And I'm just going to soften that a tiny bit using the 232 shader by Zoeva with one of the lighter colours. And the darkest, you don't have to use this many guys, I'm just using what I have. So the darkest Marmalade of the orange, just on the very outer corner. Put a tiny bit of that into the crease as well. And now I'm going to work a tiny bit of the deep roast, which is a brown, into the very outer and inner corners. So literally in here. And we will be adding more shading then around the nose in a while, but this is all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to do that lighter yellow then again, just on the very outer edge up here. Snapchat isn't putting any black in your waterline, but I'm going to, because I just think it looks better and it always looks a bit more feline. If you want to stay closer to the actual filter, feel free. I just like how this looks. And I don't want to confuse you by jumping all over the place, but now that the eyeshadows are on, I'm going to jump ahead and finish off the rest of the face before doing the eyeliner, just because the eyeliner is probably going to cut through some of the rest of the, I keep looking at my picture, cutting through the rest of the face. So that's why I'm doing that. For under the eyes, I'm going to set it with, let's see, might as well use that CATRICE guy from earlier on, and a clean brush. I'm just going to use this to cover any of the whiter areas. And then I'm going to use just a translucent powder. This is the CATRICE Cosmetics Nude Illusion Loose Powder, just to set everywhere else so that the eyeshadows will blend a little smoother over everything. So this is my Real Techniques setting brush. And then for the rest of it, don't worry about being too precise. Have a wee bit of fun, because otherwise you'll just kind of wreck your heads. So I'm going to go in with the Tangelo Tint. I like the look of this shade as a lighter colour. I'm going to start applying that as a base colour. So here to the centre of my forehead. Then with your base colour down, you can move to a smaller brush so we can be a bit more precise. I'm going to go back into that lighter colour because there are lighter colours on my cheeks when I have, or on the cat's cheeks. So I'm going to pop that here. Actually, it could be fun to use one or two highlights now here. So this is the Makeup Revolution Vivid Highlight, the golden one. I'm going to pop that just here. Oh yeah, that's doing the job. I'm going to move on to more of a the medium one, the CMO3, and pop down that background. I'm not going to use the very, very vivid one yet because I'm going to use that for the leopard spots. Oh, and that's highlighting. Oh well, it's grand. Maybe clean your brushes, unlike me. Although I kind of like the way that highlight is mixing in with it now. Then to widen the nose, you want to draw like around the outside of it, like well outside where it actually is, so that it'll look wider, and then bring that right up to the eye. And just drag that colour down either side of your nose. Next I'm going to move on to this colour actually. It's by MUD. I used the primer from them earlier on. This is Chamois, and I'm just going to use this to contour a tiny bit. I just didn't want it to be too orange, but this has enough of a tone that it'll be, yeah, definitely very similar. Okay, next we need to do some brown. So we're going to work with a smaller brush again, and we can start extending that a little bit now that the rest of the oranges are done, because it does come down the nose a bit. You don't want to be too strong, so you can feel free to have a clean or one of the orange blending brushes on hand to soften it down. And then I'm going to move on to a small little brush, which is this angle brush. It's the 317. I'm going to use that to draw in the shading and shape I see here on the mask. I nearly always prefer to use a brush and powder rather than a eyeliner to start off with, so I can kind of blend with it and play with it a little bit more. And then with a clean brush, or else dipped into the lightest colour, just use that to soften that edge. And this is something you wouldn't really be able to do as easy with the liquid eyeliner. And I'm just going to take liberties because I don't really know. It kind of curves up around the eyes, but I'm just going to extend it up this way. Do whatever you feel like to make it your own. And I'm just going to start drawing in anywhere where I need brown before we'll use the black then to really define where we need to define it. And then instead of lip liner on the bottom, it just looks like there's a shadow in there. So I'm just going to go under with the brown again. And this is like outlining like literally outlining, like lining around the outside of the bottom lip. Yeah. Okay, now all we have left to do mainly is the black work. So let me grab a good liquid eyeliner. Give us one sec. And for this, I'm just going to use the Physicians Formula 2-in-1 Lash Boosting blah 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 eyeliner and serum. Get a mirror, and I'm just going to draw or outline my top lid. Again, you don't have to be precise. Try not to make a muck of it, but you don't have to be too precise. And I'm going to draw it coming down a little bit into that brown. And then just follow the wing up where you drew the brown earlier on. And I'm not going to draw the black under the eye just because you could. I mean, you could, but I just don't think it'll be as pretty then. Or it'll kind of take away from it. It'll probably just make it a little bit more harsh. And I don't want it to be too harsh. But you can, of course, if you want to make it more like the filter. And while I said I wouldn't go under the eye with black eyeliner, I am going to go in with Incognito, which is the black eyeshadow from Kohl. Again, I'm just using the same ones from the palette. Just going to help blend that eyeshadow a little bit in with the surrounding, or the eyeliner, the black eyeliner in with the brown eyeshadow. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And I will use a little bit of that black underneath the eye. So it still won't be as harsh as eyeliner, but it will define it that little bit more. More so just on the outer and inner corners. And I'm also going to use that same black eyeshadow to darken up the parts of the nose that are darker. Just copy. I mean, it's so easy when you just have a picture to copy, because I mean, at least when you're doing Snapchat things, you can just like screenshot it with it on you. So you literally have a reference photo to copy from. I'm going to start filling in a tiny bit just on the lips with the black eyeshadow. Get the general outline, because I will be going over with the eyeliner. And it's kind of no need to put any colour on the lips. You could if you want maybe a pink, might do that in a while, just on the top lip, but there's not much of a need. So if you are putting a pink on, just draw it there underneath the black. You can use shadow or lip liner. This is the NEWLOOK lip liner. Just do the one at number 75. And even though we're keeping the bottom of the lip white like in the filter, it doesn't matter if it goes a little bit onto the top of the bottom lip. Okay, now all we have left to do is finish off the eyes and that. So mascara on your lashes if you want them. I think it'll look nicer. This is just the InExtreme Dimension by MAC. Brush your eyebrows if you want. They look however you have them in your Snapchat filter again, so. Like I said at the start, at least you don't have to worry about locking them off. And now time to do the eyeliner. So I might need to switch eyeliners because I know this one tends to dry out, but I'm just going to start filling in where I need to fill in. So I'm going to do the shapes of the leopard print. Yeah, I'm going to do the lips, fill in the nose, and anywhere else, so you'll see what I'm doing. I forgot I had a brown one as well, which will actually come in handy. Yeah, it'll come in dead handy for the nose. I'm just going to go with black to make those marks. So they're all higgledy-piggledy on the thing as well. I'm not even, like, my phone's really far away, so I keep looking over here because it is charging, so I'm not even going to be that. If you want while you're going along, it can be a good idea to add in the orange. So I'm going to use obviously the strongest orange. Ooh, trying to throw it. And in case you forget where you want to put it, just add it in as you go along. And like, I'm just more or less copying what I see on the filter, but if you're unsure, just do random C shapes, really random C shapes, and then fill them in with the just fill them in with the orange. and let it look, you know, close enough to how it looks. And like have the C shapes in different directions. Sometimes they'll be open at the top, sometimes they'll be open at the bottom. The good thing about this is that they just don't have to be precise, so you can do whatever you want. So then for my whiskers, what I did the same in the Halloween tutorial I did a couple of years ago. I just get a broken brush. If ever a brush breaks on me, I keep them because they come in handy for these. And I'm literally just getting tiny bits of, like a white brush, obviously the ones that looks like whiskers. I think this was an elf one. I'm just going to pull off a little bit of that. Try and get some clumps because they're so small that it's hard to see. And then dip it into a little bit of eyelash glue. I'm using black just because it's going on a black little dot. You could use clear if you're unsure. Let it dry for a sec because it just means it'll be more tacky and it'll actually stay and set in the direction you want it to set in. I already have a few in place, but once you have your little tuft of hair from your brush that you didn't break yourself, that was already broken. But I mean, if you want, you can get a really cheap foundation brush, or not foundation brush, paintbrush from an art store, because you can get it, like them for £1 or £2, like these kind of bristles, and then break it up, and that'll save you ruining a good brush. And then just pop it down. Ooh, I have to go underneath some of these and hold it in place. You kind of have to keep your hand here for a couple of minutes just to make sure that the glue is dry. Once it's dry, you're grand, because it won't move unless it kind of gets pulled. So this is more or less the finished look, guys. Like I said, I did take a few liberties and like did my own thing with the spots, but that'll make life so much easier on you. So don't feel like you have to copy it exactly. Yeah, I hope this was helpful anyhow. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try and do a few more of these more artistic ones going forward, just for a bit of crack and to kind of get my own creativity back. But that's it for now. So take care till my next video, guys, and I'll just see you all then. Slán!